Why does it feel like you're going crazy when you're grieving? And that's what I want to talk about. I'm going to use the voice of a mom. She sent me an email this week. We just had our first session together. She actually sent me the email last week. We just had our first session together. And I got permission from her to share her email because it was so amazing. So here's my talk tonight. Am I going crazy or is this shit normal? And I tie the lesson in out of the Grieve That Shit, that grief shit book. Oh, I got it. I thought I left it over there. I wake up every morning and for a split second I forget, she says. I forget that my baby isn't here. And then it slams into me like a freight train and I remember. She's talking about how her heart feels every morning when she wakes up. Every morning when she wakes up, she forgets that her baby's not there. And the memory of having that memory come back, that baby is not there, literally rolls her over like a freight train. Sorry, guys, I needed to do one more thing. And this is from a voice of a mother. Let me reiterate this, that wrote this letter to me. And she wrote me an email last week. We just had a session today, and she gave me permission to read. I took out all the personal stuff. She says, I wake up every morning, and for one split second, I forget. I forget that my baby isn't here. And then it slams into me like a freight train, and I remember. My chest tightens, my stomach twists, and the world feels all wrong again. This house is too quiet. My bed is too big. The future I dreamed for him, for me, for us, is gone. People keep telling me how strong I am, but they don't see me curled up on the bathroom floor, screaming into the towel so my neighbors and my husbands won't hear me. They don't see me holding his shirt to my face, trying to find one last trace of his smell before it fades away. They don't see the way I wander through the grocery store, frozen in the aisles, staring at his favorite snacks and realizing I'll never put that in the cart again. Do you know what it feels like to stand in the middle of the grocery store? This is to everybody, and suddenly feel like you can't breathe? Everyone else just keeps moving forward. School drop-off, work meetings, birthday parties, and mine feels like it stopped the day that my child died. People tell me time heals, but time has done nothing but rob salt in the wound. Every sunrise feels like another reminder that I've lived one more day without him. Every night feels like punishment. Can you imagine? I know you guys can imagine, but every night feels like punishment. Every morning gives you that reminder. And yet the world continues to go on. I want to turn back time, just 5 minutes. I just want to hold him one more time. So my questions to you is, have you ever wondered why the world keeps spinning when your world has stopped? That was huge for me. The world spinning when Miss Becky, you're amazing. Thank you. And no matter how much I tried to breathe, I felt like I couldn't get out of it. I felt like I was drowning in the air. And everywhere you went, when you go into the bank and you go into the grocery store, and it all felt like nobody was acknowledging. Not that they had to acknowledge, like I didn't need you to stop. But dang, could you at least, when I said my nephew died, could you at least slow down for a second? I remember my arms aching, my chest hurt because it felt like it was cracked open. I felt like the grief had hijacked every part of my body and I wasn't going to be able to get out of it. That's what it felt like. Grief had hijacked every part of my body. And that email that she sent me is grief, my friends. It seems so cruel that the world doesn't stop when mine did. It's the cruelest joke ever. The cruelest joke ever. Okay. This is grief, and what I just described from her is grief. It's that kind of grief that people write on a sympathy card, right? It's not that kind of grief. Like they write, so sorry for your loss. So sorry for your loss. So sorry for your loss, my love. The Smiths. So sorry for your loss. Okay. It's not the kind of grief that people write on a sympathy card. What I read to you was raw grief, raw grief. Miss Becky said, like we lost our keys. Not the tiny, it's not that tidy version society talks about. It is a full body, gut-wrenching, soul-splitting grief that nobody warned you about. It makes you feel like you're losing your mind, when in reality, your body and your brain are doing exactly what they were wired to do. But they are in a tug of war. When I tell you that they are in a tug of war, they are in a tug of war. And we want to scream what is missing from our life. But why scream? Nobody's going to listen to us. Nobody's going to hear us. It feels like I could go out on the front porch and absolutely scream, but is somebody going to acknowledge it? Have you ever thought, did you ever have a moment in this grief where you really thought you were going to crazy? Have you ever had a moment in this grief when you just thought you weren't doing this right? You weren't grieving right. This cannot be right. I'm going crazy. I'm going to be the one that loses it. I'm going to be the one that loses it. Trisha said, yes. Now, my heart to yours. So glad you're here. Miss Becky says, yes. Your nervous system doesn't know the difference between emotional death and physical death. Your nervous system doesn't know the difference between emotional death and physical death. And when you lose your child, your body interrupts that as a threat. It takes it as a threat. When you lose your person, your body takes it as a threat. Takes it as a threat to your total survival. That's why your chest tightens. That's why you have the knots in your stomach. That's why you feel hyper alert 1 minute and the next minute you're numb. That's where the craziness comes from. You are alerted to everyone's face, the way they look, the way they're looking at you. Why is she staring at me? Why is she staring at me? And I also feel like you can hear. You can hear all of the things, right? I want to say this. Erica was at a family event recently, and our cousin called her over, and she was like, hey, this is Erica, blah, 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 blah. This is so-and-so. And they sat there, they did their pleasantries, and Erica walked away, and her back was totally to the lady, to the cousin and the lady. And she heard her go, she's the one that lost the 2 kids. I'm telling you, you can hear those comments. You can hear the comments. She's the one whose husband just died. Oh, that's the one. Like we've just joined the circus. We've just joined the circus. Hey, Sonia, doing well. So glad you're here. That's why you feel hyper alert 1 minute and numb the next and feel like you can hear everything. Your body is literally trying to keep you alive. And when it feels the grief feels like the body is the grief is bringing the life to an end. That's what it thinks. It can't figure out, come here, sickum, go, stop. It doesn't know. This is why you feel so exhausted, because you're carrying it here. You're carrying it here. You're carrying it here. You feel exhausted. Your brain is on a loop. Your brain is on a grief loop. And your heart is sending messages to your brain. It is sending a message to the brain, and it says, this hurts. And it's sending this grief message to the brain. It is sending this message that this hurts to the brain. The brain thinks it's its job to fix it. I can fix that. And so it comes up with all of these ideas on how to fix the grief. And none of them, when I tell you that none of them are correct, none of them are correct. Because this is intellectual grief. This is emotional grief. And for the first part and the very first days, weeks, and months of your grief, these two are not even on the same page. They're talking to each other, but they are talking a totally different message. Because the brain is going to come up with, drink that. Drink that wine, girl. Eat that. Eat those cookies. Buy that. The brain is going to come up with everything that it can to make the heart try to forget. I can fix that. Why don't you drink that? Why don't you eat that? Why don't you buy that? And while the brain is trying to come up with all those crappy ideas, the heart is spinning in the grief. And the whole time that the heart is spinning in the grief seems to be getting worse. And then you come up with the idea, I'm going crazy. This can't be real. I got to be going crazy. I got to be doing this grief thing wrong. And when I tell you all of this is going on, it's all going on for you. Your brain is on a loop. It replays the moments. It replays the sounds. It's asking you the what ifs. The should haves. Part of it is trying to keep you busy, right? What if, should have, and all this keeps saying is hurts. And that just keeps getting louder and louder. That's grief. That's grief, my friends. This is why we feel so crazy. That's absolutely grief. It does this because it's searching for a way to rewrite the story. Your brain wants to rewrite the story. It thinks it can fix you by rewriting the story. A way, I can't see the board. A way to undo what happened. It is a way to undo what happened. And that's not insanity, my friends. That's grief. That is not you going crazy. In your mind is grasping for any thread of control it can. When everything has been ripped away from you, when your life and your love has been ripped away from you, your brain is trying to grab onto anything that it can. You're welcome, Miss Sonia. Have you caught yourself bargaining with the past? Have you caught yourself bargaining with the future? Have you caught yourself bargaining with God, with the universe, with Source? Change this for me. I can't be this way. Change this. Okay, friends, this Thursday at 7 p.m. is the Grieve That Shit lecture. We're talking about grief time. Grief time. I want to tell you what grief time is. Grief time is how we keep track of the time since they left. How we keep track of the hours, minutes, and time since they left. It's going to be a really great class, but I have some news for you. Okay, here's the deal. The semester is over. Grieve That Shit. This will be the last Grieve That Shit lecture. It's going to be the last Grieve That Shit lecture, and I have an amazing announcement to make, okay? So that's Thursday at 7 p.m. Central Time. You want to sign up for it, go to the link in the bio. Click on the link that says click here for hope. If you're on the Facebook group or the YouTube channel, click the link that says Beacons AI. Sign up for it so you can be there. Inside the Grieve That Shit lecture hall, we're going to strip away the lies. We name the real shit. We make sense of why you feel like this. Why are you keeping track of the time? And that's what we're going to be talking about this Thursday at 7 p.m. And listen, this is the last Grieve That Shit lecture hall for this semester. And after the doors close, I won't have any more lectures. And I have a big announcement coming. I'm really excited about it. So if you're listening and you're nodding and your chest is tight and your eyes are burning and you're crying, ask yourself, I got to give myself this hour. She teaches for 1 hour. I got to give myself this hour. Why not sit in the room where the truth finally matters? So I want to see you guys there. Okay, I'm getting back to the madness of what's going on right here. Oh. I think a lot of you guys know this and you experience it. When we first come upon our grieving experience, we don't, if you're anything like me, you didn't know how to grieve. I didn't know how to grieve. I absolutely didn't know how to grieve. But one of the things that we know to be true is that grief doesn't go in a straight line. It doesn't start today and you get to some future date. You get to some future date or time and the grief is over. And you're just like, oh, okay, I got it. It's not a checklist. It is not a checklist that you can check off. Okay, so today I cried, and then I went to sleep, and then I went on Amazon, and I spent money. Oh, check, check. It's not a checklist. Grief is chaos. It's absolute chaos. 1 minute you're raging, the next minute you're numb. 1 minute you're laughing, and then you're laughing at a memory of theirs. And right after that laughter that comes out so hard, you can't breathe. So grief looks like this. And that's month 1. First month. And you're expected to do that for who knows how long. For who knows how long. Okay, Miss Mary, not eating is not a stage, my love. Not eating is not a stage. It is not uncommon for us not to have an appetite after our grieving. It is not uncommon. Here's the deal. 2 things I'm going to tell you. Number 1, your body is not going to let you starve. Your brain will not let your body starve. If you are not hungry, do not eat. Do not eat. But do not bypass hunger. This is for everybody. We don't bypass hunger. You may only eat 1 thing a day. Erica only ate a half of a chicken salad sandwich. Some people, she said, mine is the same for 6 months. Some people go 6 months. Some people go 8 months. Here's the deal. Do not bypass hunger. It is not a stage. Your body is in shock and it is numb. It will come back. I promise you it will come back. If all you can get down today is 6 saltine crackers, I'm okay with that. I promise you that the urge to eat will come back. What I don't want you doing is going into drinking alcohol. I don't want you going into drinking alcohol. Okay? Make sure you're drinking water. Make sure you're drinking water because all of the tears will dehydrate you. Pasha says, I eat 1 meal a day. That's okay. 1 meal a day is fine. 1 meal a day is fine. The swing, the back and forth, the instability, it's evidence of your love, not your hate, right? So your brain is going to make you feel like you're going crazy because it is trying to figure out why this grief hurts so bad. But the number 1 thing we have to understand is the grief is here. It's in our heart. It is an emotional experience that takes place in our heart. Grief is an emotional experience that takes place in our heart. Grief is also the feeling of reaching out for someone who's always been there, only to discover when I need him 1 more time, he's no longer there. No longer there. Do you think you're unstable? Or are you just deeply human going through a human experience here on earth and really grieving. Your heart is trying to process the unimaginable. It thinks that this is impossible, and it does feel like that, especially in the early days. It feels like that. The truth is, your pain is your love. And I want to add this here for anybody who's feeling this way. It can also be your hate. It can also be your hate. And I want to tell you this, and we have to tell the truth about ourselves always. We can grieve anyone, living or deceased. Because if we got a divorce, we're going to grieve him, right? Or her. And we can grieve anyone that we love or that we hate. Any of those. You don't have to grieve this deeply because you're weak. I don't want you thinking, well, I must be weak. That's why I'm grieving this deeply. I'm telling you, you can be the strongest person in the world, and this grief is going to feel deep. Your grief is deep because of your love. And if your love was really strong, your grief is going to be really strong. If your hate was really deep, your grief is going to be really deep. And that's real. I have sat at the feet of people that have absolutely hated the person they were grieving. Society wants to label us as broken, as sad. I mean, even when I said earlier, that's the lady that lost the children. Like, we stand out to them, even though they're going to be having the same experience as us. Maybe in 5 weeks, maybe in 5 months, maybe in 5 years. Everyone is going to be touched by grief. No one is shielded from it. No one is shielded from this. Do you ever notice that the louder your pain gets, the quieter people around you become? The more you grieve out loud, the more you grieve out loud, the quieter people become. They don't know how to handle it. They don't know how to handle our grief. And that silence, the silence that's coming from them, the silence that's coming from the people around us, that's part of the problem. That's part of our problem. People don't know how to hold the grief, so they back away. They don't know what to say, so they back away. Absolutely 100%. They don't know what to say to us, so they back away. They change the subject. Hey, did you see the Dodger game? And then, or they started a sentence with, at least you had him so long. At least you had time. At least, like, you want to just punch everyone who says the at least. But here's the deal. When they change the subject and when they start a sentence with at least, they are talking to this. They are talking to your brain. They're talking to your brain. They're not talking to your heart. At least you had him so long. You should be lucky. You should be lucky. All of those comments that they say are designed to go straight to your brain. They're not talking to your heart. Denise says they don't bring them up and they don't talk about them. No, they don't. They don't. And think about this, here's the oxymoron, right? All grievers want to talk about their person. They just want to talk about their person. They want to talk about what happened to them. They want to hear you say things about their person. They want to know that you remember them, that you remember their name and that you're thinking of them. But then they don't bring it up. And if you bring it up, they change the subject. And you're left wondering if maybe you're the problem, if maybe your grief is too big. But hear me now when I say this. You are not too much, and your grief is not too much. They just don't know how to handle it and what to do with it. What you're feeling now is normal. It is a normal response to grief and loss. Hear me when I say this. You are not abnormal, and everything that is happening to you, I'm sorry. I apologize for, but they just don't get it. Believe me when I tell you you're not crazy. You're grieving. Okay. The lady that wrote the email that I was able to share earlier, we had our session today, and I asked her if I could share her email. So I tied her email up with how her grief feels with that grief shit. If you guys haven't downloaded it, this is a great ebook. Go to the link in my bio that says click here for more. Or if you're on Instagram, Facebook, or YouTube, you just click the link in the description of the event of tonight. It says Beacons AI, the Grief School. I'm going to read out of chapter 2. Here's what I hear from grievers on the first few days. I can't stop crying. I can't cry at all. And I feel like a monster. Why can't I cry? I feel like I'm watching myself from outside of my body. I'm watching myself and I'm in so much pain. I want to die just so I don't have to feel this anymore. I'm so angry at God. How did he take my child? How? How did he take my child? Why my child? And why now? And then when I think about how angry I am, I get guilt. I feel guilty. I forgot how to breathe. Let me say this as loud as I can. You are not crazy. This is exactly how grief feels. It is chaos. It is disorienting, and it is ugly. And yet, it is normal. And no one told you that grief isn't just sadness. It's physical, it's emotional, it's spiritual. It wrecks your appetite, your sleep, your memory, your ability to be normal. This is what grief looks like in real life. And I'm telling you, while they're standing next to you and they're patting you on the back and they're trying to give you all the platitudes, they too will be needing this book. You stare into space for hours. You have no idea what time went. You forget what day it is. You swing from numb to hysterical in seconds. You crave silence, and then you're suffocating in it. You want people around you, but you want them to shut up and leave. I'm sorry. I forgot I wrote that. Because it's true. You want people there, but then you want them to shut up. Then you don't want people there. You don't know what you want. You don't know if it's good or if it's bad. You feel the rage at people because they just don't get it. And let me tell you this, that is so true. It is not uncommon for us to get mad at somebody in our family. I got mad at Bob. And I put all my anger on Bob because I don't know what to do with this grief. And so I throw it over there. And this, my friend, is being mad at this. It's being mad at this. And it could be anything and not that. Meaning, this is what I mean. You're concentrating all on this, but you're not concentrating on that. You avoid that as much as you can. I taught a class about that. It's a few months back. You feel rage at people who just don't get it. You feel guilty for laughing. And even if it's just for 1 second, you still feel guilty. And when I tell you all of this is normal, it is all normal because grief doesn't care about your to-do list. It doesn't respect your should-haves. It demands that it be felt. Grief is right here, demanding to be felt. But here's what I need you to hear. You're not failing. You're not broken. And you're not too broken to heal. You're not weak because you're falling apart. This is how grief speaks to you. This is how grief speaks. What is your grief telling you? This is your body. This is your heart. This is your soul trying to survive what has happened. And it is messy, and it is confusing, and it is ugly. And sometimes it feels like it's just not working. But you are not wrong. You are not wrong, my friends. What do you do with this? Right now, you don't need a 10-step plan. I'm not going to give you a plan. You need to know that it's okay to feel whatever you're feeling. You need to feel whatever you're feeling. You need to feel sad. You need to feel mad. You can feel glad. You can feel fear. You can feel pain. You can feel guilt. You will feel a lot of regret. And whatever you're feeling in here, I want you to allow it to be there. But what happens is we feel all of these things, we feel them in our heart, and then we try to talk ourselves out of it. Let me go back here. Go back to this page. You feel the emotion. And then your brain says, I know how to fix this. I'm not sure how to fix this, but I can come up with an idea. Drink some wine. I can fix this. Eat this. Buy that. The whole time that your heart is saying, this hurts, this hurts, this hurts. What do you need to do? What do you do with this right now? You can cry. You cannot cry. You can sit in silence. You can do nothing but breathe. Grief doesn't need a plan. Your body knows what to do with it if you allow it to just lean into it and go with it. Grief sucks. You've got to lean into the suck. Don't push back against the suck. You don't need permission to grieve. Okay, friends, all of that is in chapter 2 of that grief shit. I wrote a book and it's coming out, and I keep telling this, people are like, you've been saying that since May. And it's true, I have been saying it since May. But it is coming out. It's called Grieve That Shit. But I was like, let me throw this out real quick. So I threw this ebook out, and it's called That Grief Shit. And I'm telling you, every time I teach out of it, it's so great. Right now it's free. So you better get it while it's free. It's a community outreach. I'm doing it for the community. Here's the deal. When you grab the ebook, it comes with 9 videos. So what does that mean? That means you're going to get an email every day with a video. And I train each one of these chapters. I went through and I did a little short training, about 15 minutes each. And you're going to get them emailed to you. This is not going to make your grief go away. It's just going to let you know that we understand the grief and help you understand that you're not crazy, that you're not losing your mind. That's what this is. Okay. Grief Study Hall. Grief Study Hall is my grief support group that I do every week. It's where I teach a lesson and then we talk about grief. The difference between Grief Study Hall and these lives is this. It's actually done in Zoom. I coach you live. I answer questions for you. You hear other grievers that are also going through having difficulties with their grief, not going through problems, having difficulty with their grief. You get to be in a place around other women who absolutely feel it. And so the Grief Study Hall is coming up next week. I'm not doing it this week. My mother's husband died, and so we're going to be doing the funeral this week. But hold on. Hold, please. Hold on. Grief Study Hall is going to be Monday night, the 8th at 7 p.m. Grief Study Hall is Monday night, the 8th at 7 p.m. If you guys are not on my email list, hey, Miss Debbie, go and if you haven't downloaded the ebook, if you have, you will start getting the emails from that. And every Sunday, you're going to get an email that's called Just a Thought. It's just a grief thought. I put together some grief emails, and you're going to see what my schedule is that week. We had a problem with our emails, and so we're trying to get them together, and we're working on it right now. I'd love to have you come and sit in the room with me. It's virtual. But women who actually get it, who actually need it, they're the ones that show up. Hey, my friend Suzanne. Imagine not having to explain why you're still crying, why you're still angry. Imagine not having to explain why you can't find your footing, not having to explain it to anyone, having people hold your space, having them hold your space fully in the grief. That's what Grief Study Hall is. What would it feel like not to carry this grief all alone? What would it feel like, even for an hour, to have other people who get it? Grief will hijack your future. The hardest part of losing your person is not just the memories of the past, but it is the future that got ripped away from you. Every dream, every milestone, every holiday, it's like a movie reel that got snatched out of your hands and then it was burned. That's why looking ahead feels unbearable. You don't just miss who they were, you miss who you were. You miss who you were supposed to be together. Do you feel the ache of the birthdays? Are you freaking out about the holidays coming? I don't see Miss Sarah in here. I wanted to see how she did today. Do you feel the ache of the birthdays that will never be? The graduations, the weddings, the birthday parties, the just sitting next to them. All of those things that will never happen. They feel like they will never come. And this is the worst part. People are going to tell you to move on because they don't understand. They don't understand that this is grief, and this grief has rewired time for you forever. You're living in the before and the after. You are 100% living in before the grief and after the grief. Before, here's you, here's them, here's the whole family. You are in the before. You have a memory about the before. You know that what it was like. And at some part, you are now in the after. You're looking back at the before. You absolutely remember the before. You know what it was like in the before. And the after feels like crap. It feels like shit. But here's the thing. Then they come over here in your after while you're looking back at the before and thinking of all the things you missed. And they're telling you, hey, girl, you got to move on. And all you want to do is scream and throat punch somebody, because here's the truth. What they're telling you is move on, leave it behind, leave it in the past. And you don't know how to frickin' do that. The thought of him always being there, the thought of knowing he was always going to take care of you, the thought of your future. Your calendar isn't just dates anymore. It's a weapon. It is a weapon that's being used against you. Every month is another reminder of how long it's been since you held them. Every holiday is a landmine and no one is showing you how to walk through it until now. Do you ever feel like the days are hunting you? I'm sorry, hunting you down. Haunting. The days are hunting you down. Instead of carrying you forward, they're actually taking you out. Every day is taking you out. That's why healing grief is not about moving on. It's about moving with. It's about moving with the grief. It's about knowing that your heart is broken and moving with that grief. It's about integrating the memory of the before into your present moment. It's about completing all of the things that you needed to say to him that you never got a chance to say. It's about sharing the love that you have for them. And honestly, sharing the parts that you wouldn't say to anyone out loud. It's about you looking at that. It's about integrating their memory, their love, their presence into who you are now. Holly Bear says, I can't breathe. I feel like I'm dying and trying. That's grief, my love. That's totally grief. How long has it been, Holly Bear? How long has it been? It's about learning to carry the love without carrying the pain forever. It's not about forgetting. It is not about dishonoring. When they tell you this, they are telling you that what they're telling you and what it feels like is they're telling you to dishonor your person. But your brain is not going to let you do that. That's why there's only one way, and that way is forward. And that way is forward, but it is through going back here and doing a review, looking at this. Miss Holly says June 18th. July, August. Oh, man. Yes, sweet girl. Can you tell us their name? Tell us their name. Miss Becky, I know you and I are going to see each other, and I really want to talk about that with you. Matt. Everybody, can we tap the screen for Holly Bear and Matt? TLM says, how do you deal with their absence? You grieve it. You grieve the absence. Everybody tap. Would you guys believe me if I told you this? This pain that you're in does not have to last forever. We can choose to go after this pain. Because if these lives help so much, it's the only time I feel normal in my grief. I'm so happy, Miss Nicole. June 10th, Landis. Everybody, can we tap for Landis for June 10th? Tap for Landis and for Matt. Thank you, loves. The work that we do here, those sound so loud. Miss Suzanne, you scared me. The work that we do here, I'm going to be doing a lecture this week. I'm doing a lecture on Thursday. Hey, Miss Joanne, hold on one second. I'm doing a lecture on Thursday, and it's called Grief Time. And it's the time that we count with the grief. I want to talk about some lies that we're telling ourselves. The way you always feel, the way that you will not always feel this way. That lie that people tell us about grief and how we need to move on and how we need to burn down these lies. But I'm specifically going after the grief time. We're going to be talking about grief time this Thursday. I want to say this, and I'm going to say it again. This Thursday is the end of the semester. The semester for Grieve That Shit Lecture Hall, this is the last one. And I have a huge announcement on Thursday. So please, if you want to come, go to the link in the bio and sign up. This lecture is at 7 p.m. on Thursday night. It will be the last lecture in the Grieve That Shit series. Okay, Miss Joanne. Miss Joanne says, I'm struggling tonight. I cried for the first time in a long time. Miss Joanne, tell us his first name, please, so everybody can love you. Sonia's is Tim. Everybody, can we tap the screen for Tim? And TLM says Lee, March 15th, 2024. My heart to yours, to each and every one of you. Joanne, what was his name? Chris. Everybody, Chris, Tim, Lee. We're tapping the screen for them. We're giving them love. We're giving them love from our heart, from our gut, and from our stomach. We're sending them good healing energy. I want to talk about how we can replace the lies with the truth. When people tell you grief doesn't end, what happens with the grief pain? I want to talk about how healing is possible, how the pain can be lifted. And this will be the last Grieve That Shit Lecture Hall for the season. And that semester is going to end. And I have a big announcement, so I want you guys to come. Holly Bear says, love to you all. Okay. Here are a couple things that I want you to know. Oh, am I running out of paper? I think I used all the paper. All right. Did I? Here's some things I want you to know. Number one, grief is normal. It's normal and natural for us to grieve. Grief is normal. Everyone will go through multiple grieving experiences throughout their life. This one may be your first, I don't know. But everyone will go through multiple grieving experiences throughout our life. Grief is normal. You are not crazy. You're not crazy. You're grieving. You are grieving. You are not crazy. You're grieving. Number one, grief is normal. You are not crazy. You are grieving. Number two, grief is physical. Grief is physical. You feel it in every part of your body. You feel it in your head. You feel it in your neck. You feel it in your shoulders. You feel it in your chest, your stomach, your skin, your gut. Grief is physical. Grief can affect your mental outlook on life. Grief can go after your mental. Now, are you diagnosed with a psychological condition? No, but it affects your mental behavior and outlook on life. Grief is mental. Let me tell you what I mean by that, okay? It hijacks your memories. Your memories and your focus. Your memories, your focus, and your sleep. It affects all of that. Grief can be spiritual. Grief can be spiritual. It can shake your spiritual walk. It is okay. It is okay. You can start questioning your relationship with God. Listen to me. Listen to me. Grief is spiritual. Oh, number 4. Is everybody's grief spiritual? No. It shakes your meaning. It shakes your belief. It shakes your faith. Here's the things that we know. If your spiritual walk with God was always intact, it can rock on your grief healing journey. It can absolutely rock on your grief healing journey. But when you do your grief work, for a lot of us, it comes back. For a lot of us, it comes back. And for some of us, it never comes back. Either one, I want you to be okay with, and we can look at that and we can talk about it. Grief is survivable. You're not going to die. Even though it feels like it. It feels like you are going to die. Do you see how naming the grief takes away some of its power? Do you see how when we call it out for what it really is, it takes away the power? Most of us haven't said the things we needed to say about the grief. When you stop running from it, when you stop pretending that you're okay, when you stop avoiding other people, when you stop avoiding the grocery store, when you stop listening to what people say about give it some time, about moving on, the shift begins. Healing doesn't come in silence, my friends. It comes through talking. The number one thing that we know about a griever is that they need to talk. They need to talk about the goddamn grief. They need to talk about the grief. They need to talk about their person. They need to talk about what they're feeling. They need to talk about how long it's been. You need to talk. There are people around that are ready, willing, and able to listen. Healing doesn't come from silence. It comes from talking, from leaning in, from learning, from completing the grief that was left inside of you. Have you been running from the grief? Are you running from it? Is it so painful that you're trying to run from it? That's exhausting. That's absolutely exhausting. No, family doesn't want to hear it. Sometimes the counselors don't want to hear it either. Angela says, Jim. Everybody, can we tap the screen for Angela and Jim? April 6, 2025. I wait for a storm and I screamed at it. My heart to yours. Sonia says, no one understands. Grievers understand, my love. Grievers understand. Have you been running from the grief? Or are you ready to grieve that shit? Are you ready to go after the shit? Are you ready to go after the grief shit? Here is the book, the ebook, That Grief Shit. It's just something I put together really quick, but I love it. I absolutely love it. Okay, what is the shit? What is the shit we're trying to grieve? That's what I'm talking about right here. The shit that nobody's talking about, that they're not discussing with you. Okay, go to the link in the bio. Click on the link that says That Grief Shit and download this. The thing that's amazing about this is that it comes with 9 emails. Every email I do there's a video in there and I'm teaching a lesson. That's the grief shit. And that I just read out of this tonight. It's great. I love it. Every time I read it, I'm like, geez, that is really good. I know you're tired, loves. I know you're tired. And I know you're broken. I know you feel broken. I know your thought that I can't do this another day. I know you're like, I cannot do this one more day. But let me tell you, if you're breathing, you can. And it's not all at once. And it won't be forever. I promise you it won't be forever. You just got to get through the next breath. You just got to get through the next step. You just got to get through the next choice. So here's your choice. You can keep drowning alone and step away from me and move far away from me where I can't see you and I can't help you. Or you can bring me this pain and together you and I can strip it away and we can start healing what is broken in your heart for real. And that's what we're going to be talking about this Thursday on in the lecture hall, That Grief Shit. It's the last lecture hall of the semester, and I have a big announcement. So let me ask you one more time. Are you ready to grieve this shit? Are you ready to really go after it? Are you coming? And if you're coming, sign up. Julie says, I didn't believe it before I met you, but I believe it now and I'm living it. Miss Julie is an amazing, amazing, beautiful woman and a beautiful soul. And we did some work together last year, some very much needed work on her grief. And she is an amazing woman. She said, I didn't believe it before. I didn't believe it before I met you, but I believe it now and I'm living it. She's a beautiful sister and mom. Tomorrow's the day tomorrow's mom's birthday, right? Tomorrow you're going to put flowers on mom's grave. And it's just an amazing, amazing to work with somebody, especially Miss Julie, such a beautiful person, and to see her now. Do you tour other places besides Dallas? Yes, I will, but I'm starting in Dallas. Yes, tomorrow. My heart to yours, love, thinking about you. I will. My goal is to do San Diego, Los Angeles, Phoenix, Scottsdale, and Dallas. That's my goal. Okay. Miss Holly Bear says, I scream uncontrollably in my car. Not fully, but enough to go, oh my God, I'm exhausted. Yes, you can scream as loud as you want in your car. Get it out. Let some of that negative energy come out. So we can scream it out. We can write it out. We can cry it out. There are a lot of ways that we can get the grief out. I don't think I'll be coming to Connecticut, Miss Linda. I don't think so. I mean, I don't have plans right now. I don't have plans. We're starting in Dallas. We're going to do Dallas till the end of the year. And then we're going to do, and I'll tell you, Connecticut. Wow. The places that I mentioned to you are places that I have children and grandchildren. Ava, your family doesn't want to hear it. You are completely right. They don't want to hear it. And most therapists, if they don't know what they're doing, they don't want to hear it either. So it makes sense for you to be with a grief specialist and really get in there and learn what's going on. Oh, Joanne says, I'm in New York. Becky says, I'm ready for Dallas. I can't wait to give you a hug, Miss Becky. Debbie, don't make me feel bad. Debbie's in Chicago. I actually have some really good friends in Peoria. You need to come to the East Coast. Suzanne, don't start with me. I'm assuming you're talking about Ohio. I'm in Rockwall. Man, I wish I could come to all of them, you guys. I really do. I really, really do. Ohio, yes, absolutely. There's something about learning this alive. Learning this in the live is amazing. But in person, when I tell you all of that is stripped off, and it is so cool to be in the room with you guys, Dallas is close. March says Dallas is close. Dallas is close to everybody. A part of me thinks if I get through the grief and I'll lose him all over again. Exactly what I was teaching about last night, Miss Holly. Miss Holly, I want you to be careful of that. Do not allow your grief to go on too long, because what happens is we start to get comfort by the pain. The pain was never supposed to be there forever. The pain is the process. Our heart is supposed to go through this process. And for a lot of us, we feel, and I'm one of them, I honestly had this thought, if I get rid of this pain, this is what Austin left me, then I won't remember him. I won't sense him. But the absolute truth is you have more of them. You have more of the love. And that pain is lifted off. It is such an amazing experience to have that. South of Columbus. Man, there's a lot of you in Ohio. Akron. The pain literally shifts right off. And what's filled in your heart is more of the love that you have for the person. It's an amazing experience. And the thing is that I know I'm going against the wind. I know I'm out here telling you guys, we can go after this pain and we can do something about it. We absolutely can do something about the pain. Your life will be forever changed. You people from Ohio. All right. Everybody's like, get to Ohio. Get there now. Okay, I'm going to read out of chapter 7. Your first brave conversation is going to be with yourself or someone you trust, because silence will suffocate you. You've probably been holding it in because you don't want to be a burden, because you don't want to make people feel uncomfortable, because you've been taught that grief is private. Don't speak ill will of the dead. Don't say their name. But here's what I know to be true, because I'm a griever. Grief will suffocate you in silence, and it will fester, and it will grow, and icky stuff will start to slime out of it. It will start to turn into shame. It will start to turn into guilt, and it will lie to you, because it is a liar. You don't have to share your grief with anyone, but you need to share it with someone. And that someone could be a person that you trust. It can be a journal. It can be a voice in your notepad in your phone. a voice recording note. Even your reflection in a mirror, the goal isn't to go with being unheard. The goal is to stop carrying it alone. The first conversation is scary, but it doesn't have to be perfect. And you might think, I don't even know what to say. What if I fall apart? What if they don't get it? What if they don't understand it? You're not supposed to have the perfect words. You're supposed to have true words. That's in chapter 7 of the Grieve that grief shit. All right, friends, I'm going to head out. Thank you for being here today. I want to tell you a few things. I lost my father, my childhood best friend, my husband, who had fought cancer for 8 years. Carol, my heart to yours. My granddaughter went blind when my mother died, all in 10 years. My heart to yours. Everybody, can we give Carol some love? Can we tap the screen for Carol and give her some love? I speak it out. I feel guilty, and everyone I do makes me feel weird. Everyone you talk to. Okay, everybody, let's tap the screen and give Carol some love. Okay, Holly Bear, may I help you with the grief, please? The grief. May I help you with the guilt, please? May I help you with the guilt? I'm out of paper. But I want to tell you this. The definition of guilt is with intent to deceive or do harm. The definition of guilt is with intent to deceive or do harm. You can look it up. It's in Webster's dictionary. It's in Webster's dictionary. So now I have to ask you this. You say, I speak it out, then I feel guilty. Do you feel guilty at a person? Do you feel guilty for what you said? Does your heart feel guilty? With intent to deceive or do harm. Did you intend to deceive or harm someone by speaking it out? And if the answer to that question is no, you probably are describing regret. Regret is probably more what you're speaking. And if you're talking about him, if you're looking in the before and you're talking about your person, and you're talking to someone else, and you're probably noticing some regret, my love. No, thank you. Have a good night. You're probably thinking of some regret. Grief and regret go together like peanut butter and jelly. Grief and regret go together like peanut butter and jelly. They are right there. We think it's guilt because we use guilt as an umbrella emotion. We have an umbrella and it's called guilt. And when we're grieving, we put that umbrella up and we use it for everything. Thank you, Miss Carol. Thank you so much. All right, friends, I will see you tomorrow. Hold on. No, I will not. I will see you Thursday. I will be live tomorrow. I will be live tomorrow at 6 p.m. Probably more than 6 p.m. At 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. I'll be live tomorrow at 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. And then I will see you guys on Thursday in the last Grieve That Shit lecture hall. I love you all. I'm here for you. Go to the link in the bio if you're in TikTok and click the link that says click here for hope. I love you too, Miss Debbie. Thank you for your patience. Thank you. If you are in the Facebook group, click the link that says Beacons AI, the Grief School. There you can find everything you're needing. I'll see you all tomorrow. I'll see you on live tomorrow. Bye, friends. Thank you. I don't know what the noise is.